It's Charter Local Edition. Brad Pomerance here on the west side of Los Angeles, joined by Meghan Sahli-Wells. She is a councilwoman in the city of Culver City. I'd like to speak with you about the election and focus on the national election. I think many Californians were surprised by the presidential result. And a lot of those in the Los Angeles area are feeling some trepidation. They may be of Latino descent, they may be undocumented themselves or have undocumented family members. A lot of kids in schools, I know I have children who are school age, are scared. What are you hearing, seeing in an ethnically diverse community like Culver City?
Fear, definitely fear. And a sense, we feel lucky to be in California. We happen to have a lot of sanctuary cities in California.
And let me ask you about sanctuary cities, because this is an interesting dilemma. As we know, in the 1960s, the way the federal government enforced desegregation is they said to the states, if you don't desegregate, we're going to withhold federal funds. The Trump administration has indicated that if cities engage in a sanctuary city status, they will consider withholding federal funds. And so what does a city do? Is Culver City officially a sanctuary city? I mean, it's a broad term, but...
Yeah. So, and you point out something that's kind of the crux of the issue, which is, how do we define it?
Right.
There isn't really a strict definition, and a lot of cities have gone about this in very different ways. We are a place of safety. Our police department just sent out a letter post-election to our residents saying, you know, we're not going to ask for your papers. That's not our job.
Right.
We want the entire city to be safe. Now, that doesn't make us, we never use the quote, you know, sanctuary city. But is it a place where we want all of our residents to feel safe and welcome and supported? Absolutely. And so, you know, to get to the point where funding's going to be withheld, there's going to have to be some sort of legal definition. And, you know, my feeling, because it's such a complicated issue, but it's also it's also something where we need to lock arms and stand up as a nation, but certainly as a state, to make sure that all of our residents are welcome and safe and protected and embraced. Immigration is our history as a nation, and it's something that is, you know, really evident in the diversity in Culver City, but in California as a whole. So my thought is this. I think California should find a definition and a pathway forward to declare itself a sanctuary state. Because if you look at the election results, it's very clear who Californians wanted in the White House.
Well, and if you look at LA County voted 72% in favor of the Democratic nominee.
Yeah.
Governor Brown joked about how the state should build a wall around itself, not at the Mexican border. But look, we are part of a union.
Yes.
And there are certain powers that are given to the federal government.
Well, and we can joke all we want.
Right.
But I think what we stand for is not building walls. I think we very much stand for building bridges. And so it's not about, you know, moving to Canada or, you know, getting out of the union or something like that. I think California's role right now is to be a beacon that proves that inclusive policies, believing in climate change and following the science, embracing our diversity, our environmental, you know, strong record makes us stronger and makes us a model for the country.
But the question becomes, does California play the role that Texas played during the Obama years? Because what Texas did is they became the chief litigator against the Obama rules. And so does California take that role? our new Attorney General, Javier Becerra, apparently was selected by Governor Brown because of his understanding of federal law, and he worked as a deputy AG.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, I'm a lifelong Democrat. If this election taught us one thing, it's grow a spine. Grow a spine. You know, we've got to stand up for what we know to be right. We absolutely do. And so, you know, I don't want to be the party of no, but I will be the party of no, I won't normalize when you want to start a registry because of somebody's religion.
And can we
I mean,
talk,
that is fascism.
Yeah,
and so we have to, we can't equivocate. We have to be strong in not accepting that.
And I want to talk about these religious tests. I know that your husband his father is Muslim, although your husband may not be a practicing Muslim. There is a beautiful mosque in Culver City. Where does the city go on the question of protecting the religious rights and freedoms? Because that really is a federal issue, maybe a state.
Yeah, it's so my father-in-law, born and raised in Tunisia. My husband is half Tunisian, and grew up in France, where we met. And so, and his name is Kareem. So there's,
Right.
you know.
Does he present as someone of Arabic descent?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
You know, the nose is a giveaway.
So that could be a lot of things.
That could be a lot of
but
things.
Be
He
that
definitely
as it may.
looks Mediterranean.
You're right.
And it's a point of pride for our family, the diversity that we have in my family. I like to think, you know,
But
a
it's
generation ago, like, my kids wouldn't even be possible because there's such a mixture of so many different cultures, and that's something that we embrace. And then to, you know, get
Right.
back to the city level, about a month before the election, in light of the rising tide of anti-Muslim violence, you know, overt bigotry, and hate crimes that have really had an alarming rise. They've been there as high as they were right after 9/11. It's a terrible trend across the country. And so the city council, as part of kind of a wider national movement, passed a resolution in support of our Muslim community, embracing the plurality of our city.
Do you feel as if that in some ways the attacks, we'll say, on Muslim Americans, they're bringing religious communities together, Jews, Christians, Baha'is, Buddhists?
Yeah. I mean, the mosque that's in Culver City, King Fahd Mosque, is has long been doing a lot of work on interfaith, interfaith work, community work. They want to be a gathering place for everybody. Right after the horrible
Orlando.
Orlando, and before that in San Bernardino,
Right.
they had a great interfaith gathering where they, you know, bring people together from so many different places and faith groups, and so this is kind of ongoing
Right.
work that's been happening, and I think this moment in history kind of makes us
Right.
stronger and more resolute and more unified.
We'll have you back, lots to talk about.
Yeah.
Her name is Meghan Sahli-Wells. She is a councilwoman in Culver City. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's Charter Local Edition.